Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon solo video. Today we'll be using Rosespanner Rodion. This identity is a fairly solid Tremor identity, though she doesn't actually need any Tremor to be considered good. Reason being, she has way more in her kit than just Tremor. The main thing that makes her powerful is her skill 2, which is capable of turning into a 4-coin skill if she has a measly 3 charge. On top of this, whenever she Tremor bursts, she gains blunt damage up, increasing the power of her skill 3. These give her access to 2 incredibly potent skills that every enemy is guaranteed to be at least neutral to one of them. Every Rodion identity is generally pretty good at soloing, simply because Rodion has access to some of the best supporting egos in the game. All of them are usable, but the one I'm specifically referring to is Rhymeshank. Even if an identity doesn't support sinking, it's still very helpful, as the sanity reduction is a great utility for reducing the enemy's damage output. For Rosespanner in particular, she can fuel most of Rodion's egos, which makes them much more reliable. Being both a charge and Tremor identity gives her access to more unique support passives. Molar Office Song for her defense level down on Tremor Burst, Oofy Heathcliff for extra clash power, W Corp Faust for bonus charge, and W Corp Hong Lu for speed. Starting the run, we choose the Outcast for the first floor, picking Reverberation and Sour Liquor Aroma for our ego gifts. We somehow collect enough random gifts to fuse Clockwork Spring before the boss against the Golden Apple. It's a little strange fighting this for the first boss, but it's still super easy. Even more so as we actually have decent damage. It doesn't take us very long to defeat it since we actually have decent damage. That's a redundant sentence. Why did I write that? Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, this boss is stupid easy and literally anybody can beat it, so it didn't take long before we defeated it. We picked the Melted Eyeball as a reward, taking Blue Zippo Lighter as a bonus. The second floor we choose Hell's Chicken. We take Wrist Guards, Bloody Gadget, and Night Vision Goggles at the shop, finding Lithograph along the way before entering the fight against Papa Bongi. Not being weak to his attacks, we can easily ignore the chickens, making sure to clash with Papa so we don't take too much damage. Once we have enough skills, we can defeat the chickens and prevent Papa from spawning more, swiftly defeating him shortly afterwards. We take Green Spirits as a reward and pick To Be Crushed as the third floor. We don't find anything really useful here before we make it to the boss facing up against the Steam Transport Machine. This robot can be very, very annoying, especially when you don't have an evade. Being forced to have 9 paralysis makes clashing on the first few turns quite difficult. That, combined with all of the unopposed attacks, makes it quite likely for him to simply stagger and defeat us. The best way to go about this fight is to use a skill 3 on the first turn to stagger his Steam Blaster part. Turn 2 we need to get a little lucky and not get crit, otherwise we get staggered. We're able to destroy the Steam Blaster on the third turn with another skill 3. Unfortunately, we still end up getting staggered, but are somehow able to survive with only 5 HP thanks to Reverberation's paralysis. Now with more than enough skill slots, we can stagger his main body and can finally finish him off.
기록에 따라 당신은 반드시 집행하겠습니다. 완벽한 한발, 시원한 걸 가자. 걸려라.
방금의 일격은 매우 좋았습니다. 제가 만약 일기에서 야구 선수가 되어 홈런을 날렸더라면 이런 기분이지 않았을까 싶습니다.
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹었어.
We receive Venomous Skin as our reward, gaining Grey Coat as a bonus. The fourth floor we choose is Rising Power Supply. We purchase Imitative Generator, Curriculum Vitae, and Patrolling Flashlight at the shop. Finding an employee card and fusing Biovenom Vial, we enter into the boss against the Shock Centipede. Having the first turn where he does nothing makes this fight already easier than most, as it acts as if we start the fight with 2 skill slots. Being fatal to pierce damage certainly makes this fight a little scarier than normal, but thanks to Grey Coat and having a 4-coin Gloom skill means we can easily heal back any damage we take. Once we have enough skill slots to clash with everything, the rest of the fight is of little consequence. We can easily beat all of his attacks, and with our incredible damage output, quickly take out all of his health.
적들의 무기가 파괴되었습니다. 치킨으로 말하자면 손발에서 닭다리 하나가 뜯어내는 소리. 볼품 없어졌다는 것이죠?
저건 너덜거리는 것 좀 봐. 완전 제대로 먹혀들었다. 그치?
With that, all we need to do now is win a few more clashes, which we are more than capable of doing even without any egos. Passing the skill check is the final nail in the coffin for the centipede. We pick up Oscillating Bracelet as our reward and get Bell of Truth as a bonus, entering Thunder and Lightning for the last floor. We buy Mirror Tactile Synthesia and Phantom Pain, finding Nixie Divergence along the way. We also buy Portable Battery Socket and Temporal Brittle at the final shop before going into the final boss against the Wayward Passenger. Being resistant to slash damage, he's really not much of a challenge. For extra insurance, though, we use Sanguine Desire to increase our resistances even further.
아름다운 춤을 추는 건 나뿐이어야 해. 그러니 네 발목을 잘라버리는 적합한 관리법이었어. 다행이야.
미카, 저것들 뭔가
This doesn't last very long, however, as we use Rhymeshank to defeat each of the portals.
그래도 언제나 추워할 수는 없으니까. 걸려라. 여기다가 가자. 걸려라. 자, 한 손에 꼭. 잠깐만 판단이었어요.
준비하지 말아주길 말하니까.
그래도 완전 좋은 판단이었던 건 그래도 언제나 추워할 수는 없으니까. 엄청난 공격이었어. 기념할 만한걸? 목표가 배고팠어. 잘됐다.
Unfortunately, by doing this, our sanity gets decimated. So instead of relying on RNG, I instead choose to force corrosion, which ends up staggering the passenger.
뭘 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작됐어. 등 하나가 끊어졌네요. 이제 좀 수월해지겠어요.
덕분에 둘 다 파괴되었습니다. 치킨으로 말하자면 손갈비에서 닭다리 하나가 뜯어졌습니다.
완벽한 한발. 시원한걸?
Our clashing is at least somewhat manageable now, in which we capitalize on winning a few clashes, except for the last one where the passenger ends up bleeding out instead.
야, 이 정도면 너무 성공적인데? 추가 보스 나오는 거 아니야?
And that's how I soloed Mirror Dungeon 4 hard with Rosespanner Rodion. She's a fairly powerful identity, having a pretty significant damage output and good tremor synergy. Having the ability to fuel multiple egos also gives her a pretty big advantage. Anyway, that's all from me. Like and subscribe to not miss next time where we'll be using this fascinating character.